This is Unit 2, Lesson 2. This is the lesson portion. So we're going to apply that vocabulary that we just learned. We have two images up here. Figure A, which is parallel lines cut by a transversal, and Figure B, where there are not parallel lines. L is not parallel to M. So in both figures, line T is the transversal. Okay, in Figure A and B, angle 1 and angle 5 are called corresponding angles. So this is a little bit of review. We did this at the end of the last unit. Other pairs of corresponding angles would be angle 2 and angle 6. Angle 4 and angle 8. And angle 3 and angle 7. Now remember, corresponding angles means that they are in the same place on both lines. So 3 is underneath the line on the left of the transversal. 7 is underneath the line on the left of the transversal. So what we did learn at the end of Lesson 7 was that if the lines are parallel, like they are in Figure A, then the corresponding angles are congruent. So if we see corresponding angles, so if we're given a diagram where 3 and 7, those angles were congruent, we would know that the lines are parallel. In both Figure A and Figure B, they're talking about angle 3 and 6 now. Angle 3 and angle 6. Angle 3 and angle 6. So notice that these angles form along the little Z here. This would be like a more crooked Z. These are called alternate interior angles. They are inside the two lines on opposite sides of that transversal. So there's another pair of angles which are also on opposite sides of the transversal and inside the parallel lines. That would be angle 4 and angle 5. That would be another pair. If the lines are parallel, then we know that the alternate interior angles are congruent. If the alternate interior angles are congruent, then we know the lines are parallel. The next pair of angles that we're going to talk about are angle 1 and 8. So let's look back at our diagram above. We have angle 1 over here, angle 8. Angle 1 and angle 8. Notice that these are outside of L and M, and they are on alternate sides of T, or opposite sides of T. So these are called alternate exterior angles. Opposite sides of the transversal, outside of those parallel, or those two lines that are intersected. So another pair of angles that are again outside of those two lines and on opposite sides of the transversal are 2 and 7. Okay. Again, in Figure A, line L is parallel to line M, so we know the alternate exterior angles are congruent. That is their relationship. Similarly, if we see alternate exterior angles are congruent, then we know the lines are parallel. So again, it goes both ways. It is a biconditional statement, as we would call it. The last two that we're going to talk about are 4 and 6. So let's go back up to our diagram here. Here's angle 4 and angle 6. Angle 4 and angle 6. Notice these are on the same side, or consecutive, all right? They are on the same side of the transversal, and they are inside L and M. They are in between L and M, and they are the same side. So we call these consecutive interior angles, or same side interior angles. Consecutive interior. Okay. Let's name another pair that are inside those lines and on the same side of the transversal. That would be 3 and 5. Okay, inside L and M on the same side of the transversal. angle 3, and angle 5. So if line L is parallel to line M, then the consecutive, I'm running out of room on this line, should have made it a little longer, interior angles are supplementary. And what does supplementary mean? They add to 180. Again, previous vocab term from the lesson. And that is it for this.